Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with Darth Mod. We're playing as the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and last time we lost our colony, which the Mughal Empire had traded to us. We lost it back to the Mughal Empire, but that was only a sideshow. Now we're gonna go back, and I think we're gonna start with looking at what's happened on the Russian front, because that's the one that's closer to the Kashmir region, and it has happened less stuff here than on the Austrian front. So we do have a Georgian force moving up to help the Russians. I just noticed that the Russians have 2 pleasure gardens in this region. And then we also have forces coming in from the north, so this army right here is kind of getting sandwiched here. I wonder if they've replenished this army. For now we're gonna stay put here, because we're gonna try to hold on to what we have captured. If we go further here, well, the port of Sevastopol is still under siege. I am trying to build a large navy over here, so we'll see how that goes. Further up north, the general actually previously in charge of this army died, so I have replaced him with Ludoslav Nasklovsky. And he's continuing the siege of Kiev. Hopefully we can force the Russians to come out and attack us. Further north still, the enemy have seen, I guess they've seen the army approach, well, obviously, the Fusiliers, and they have chosen to abandon Moscow. They refuse surrender, which is kind of obviously would be silly to just surrender the capital. It's silly to play it as well. And with that, the enemy, the Russian capital has fallen to us. They didn't even go ahead and decide to defend it. Here is the army that was previously stationed there. Nikifor Ragulin was the guy in charge. And he, for some reason, decided to move down here, I imagine. With very few forces in the region. And Moscow is taken with more or less out of a fight. Gonna go ahead and repair all of this. I don't really like the big fort. I kind of want to tear it down and build a smaller one. It's easier to kind of keep an eye on that one. They do have some forces up here. Damn, this is actually a quite large one. So we need to beef up the defense here. A lot more troops needs to be recruited up here. I also noticed we've got a little mine actually up there that needs to be upgraded. But that's the Russian front. Won't make any moves here really, so we'll head over to the Austrian front. And what I've done here is we're gonna start with the old marine infantry, which I had here. I need extra troops up at the front as we're kind of lacking them. And this army is going to move up here because it looks like they're sending a force to aid the besieged force over here. And I'm going to try. It is possible that I could do an outer assault here and win, but what I think I'll do is I'll play this one off camera and win that battle and make sure that that region falls in our hands. Last time, not last time, but a last turn I should say, we had a big fight up here, but unfortunately we didn't win that one, and the enemy still has their armies, or still has a lot of their units intact, so we would definitely want to hit that again. But the thing is, our armies took quite a beating as well. So we're replenishing, hoping to come again. And what I've done is they've moved up the force that was somewhere here, moved in and taken up position in Zagreb to properly protect that. And that's about it for that region. If we go further north, what has happened is the Hanoverians have started moving into our territory. So the Hanoverians have one force up here in the north. They've one here and they have one here. Now we know that this fight was very bloody. And a lot of my units here are very depleted, so there's no way we're gonna be able to take on a full stack of Hanoverians. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna unfortunately have to lift the siege after that massive fight against Maximilian. We only have 1,700 men left. And we cannot retreat any further than that. However, we will possibly get some support from these guys. How many men can I... that's about it. We're gonna have some more recruited from over there. Hopefully, the enemy will not strike this force, but they will strike the town instead. This force, however, I have been building up quite the force in Copenhagen. So we'll put that under command of a general, and then we threaten the northernmost army of the Hanoverians. And that might change their tune. We're gonna have to have a lot more infantry coming this way. So I'm gonna recruit full. And then we're gonna have the same kind of troop coming down from Stockholm as well. And then what can I get from Norway? Nothing. As per usual, nothing. I'm recruiting the new army over in Poland. Any of those units have yet to materialize. Oh, we have loads of sharpshooters, we have loads of riflemen coming out there. So that's building an army as well. What battles do I have then? Nothing, unfortunately, right now. I'm gonna end turn and we're gonna see what battles emerge. Oh yeah, I'll probably do this one off camera, and then we'll see. Most likely it's the Hanoverians that are gonna strike us somewhere, but it could also be the Austrians striking over here, and it could also be the Russians either going back, laying siege and trying to reclaim Moscow, or it could be a fight somewhere down here. So there's a lot of options. And with a direct border now no longer being the case with the Mughal Empire, we could see about signing a peace treaty with them, because I don't want suddenly an army of theirs turn up on my shore. Also, the army here is progressing pretty well, and hopefully we can take on some more islands here. You make surprisingly little from the trade here. You make a lot more from all the other kind of trade nodes and stuff. We make, well, I guess the direct trade of the sugar from that island doesn't actually give me much, but when I trade that sugar away to the other nations, that is when we actually get a substantial amount of gold for those for that sugar. Sugar price has actually fallen to 15. I think it was higher before. Spice is of course the highest one, which would be nice, but I haven't spent too much time on that because I'm still making 43,000 each turn. Anyways, I'll go ahead and play this one off camera. I'll end turn and we'll see if the enemy wants to join the battle somewhere. And so we're back. And it's during the end turn. I should say that I was successful in taking out the enemy holdout in Transylvania. So the Transylvanian province has fallen to us. However, I should also say that it took a lot more men and a lot more skill, or really effort, to actually defeat them. We have an opportunity there to intercept an army that is approaching, and I would rather do that than defend in a siege battle. So we're gonna attack the Russians in the field, and with that, yeah, let's attack the bastards. The idiot who left Moscow undefended, racing back to kind of hoping to retake it, and we'll meet him in the field outside the town. And that will be the battle. So, let's crush this Russian fool. We're ready now to sally forth out of the defenses around Moscow. I've deployed accordingly, so I have 2 cavalry units, 1 cuirassier, 1 guard hussar. We've got 8 units of fusiliers, 2 of the smaller fusiliers stationed on the walls. Then I've got my cannons lined up here, and we've got the guard grenadiers. Well, the grenadier guards is what they're actually called. And then we have the normal grenadiers over here, with cannons in among them, and then grenadiers all the way around there. We've got 1 unit of fusiliers. The smaller units of fusiliers is up on the walls, and then we got 4 units of fusiliers here, and we got 2 units of cuirassier guards over there. Smaller units stationed as reserve inside, and also 3 units of howitzers. With that said, let's go ahead and start the battle. Right, so they have lined up their army accordingly. I don't think we're going to advance out of our positions here. What I'll do is I'll just tell these guys to hold fire. Jesus Christ, there's a massive cavalry charge coming in here. Quickly switch to canister. Oh, you bastards. I hope you're not intending to fire that way. Fire that way, you morons. The Fusiliers have opened fire along the line here, as we've got Kalmucks. Some form of looking like Cossack unit is charging through. However, we are well defended behind our positions there. The artillery is deciding not to fire today. The Grenadier Guards holding their position. And I was hoping to make some maneuvers myself, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. At least I'll get to deploy the cavalry on the flanks, maybe. We got loads of enemy infantry. Lots of the Streltsky charging in. Guard engineers ready to open fire while the enemies charge the Fusiliers. Massive infantry charge over here as well, to the point where it's my artillery retreating. The Grenadier Guards are holding strong though. The Grenadiers over here are holding strong as well. Cannons should be firing canister. Jesus Christ, don't... I hate you. Bloody hell. Oh, God. Cannons retreat back. Here is where we've got some leeway, where I can move some units. We'll gang up on that one. Oh, blunderbuss, I forgot about those guys. Massive charge, overrunning our positions everywhere. And I mean, it's not a lot of like detailed maneuvers I can make here, because everyone's kind of fighting melee. Here we've got one. I'm gonna send them over there so it'll be able to fire into the flank. If you can move out there, that would be great, and if you can move out there, that would be great. these guys. We got the cavalry coming into the flank. This unit's getting completely overrun, so the guys in the back will be ordered to open fire into the mess of enemy troops. Or at whatever they feel they can fire at. Alright, so just first rank that's gonna fire because they're firing at the cavalry. The other units are holding fine, so I think these should be able to move out. The grenadiers firing into there, holding off the enemy. The grenadiers here are doing fine for now. The enemy unit here. Royal Cuirassiers and that Grenadier Regiment is kind of locked in battle here. Looks like we're gonna win. I'm gonna send these two just off there. And then it's a blunderbuss unit that's climbed up the wall. Cuirassiers move there and strike the enemy in the back. And now here a lot of the enemy units have been sent away, and just as I'm about to order these guys out of their defensive position, the Russians sent cavalry to attack us. I thought this was going to be quite a long battle just because of all the troops involved. We're going to have these four quickly move that way, turn up around one of the main points or the strongest points of enemy resistance over there and destroy them. Then this one will move out and fire from the flank over there. Is my howitzers even firing? If they are... oh, they're firing round shot. I want you to fire explosive shot against the enemy's cavalry over there. First, second and third rank firing over here. I've got my Fusiliers on the way though. That plus explosive shot should send the enemy away. And just because the enemy are bringing extra troops there, we're gonna have them stationed like so. We've got pikemen coming in. The two cavalry units will go for the enemy's artillery. And yes, the artillery is starting to strike over here. And that was enough to send the enemy back. I'll send my grenadiers back. And maybe that'll be enough. Let's see. If all the Fusiliers are in line, they can open up, but it looks like all the Russians over here are retreating. What's happening out here? Oh, it's my cavalry. Can go for the general's bodyguard. Most of the enemy is gone over here. We'll move out into the open to deal with the dragoons and the few regiment of enemies that are still there. You will march up. The grenadiers were dealt with. Right, most Russian new forces are retreating all across the field. Go for that, for what target I had assigned to you. We've got one. Are they dismounted? Yes, they are. What are they firing on? We've got Russian pikemen running away. Okay, these three out of defensive position and get rid of those enemies up there. Is that blunderbuss unit? No, that's a Russian Tsar Guard. Let's see if we can get these grenadiers to form a line here. And then I was sending in these two, and they will take a position here, facing the Tsar's Guard. What is that? What I think it is? Oh yeah, it's this Russian special unit, the hand mortars. blowing my cavalry away. Russian troops are retreating under steady volleys from my fusiliers. And I just, before these guys leave the field, I just want to see the uniforms of the Tsar's Guard. Not that impressive. And the battle certainly wasn't that impressive. So yeah, we defended Moscow, but it's still the end turn, so the enemy could do a lot more damage all over the place. Here is the statistics of that battle. We lost 2,000 men out of a 6,000 men army. The enemy, however, lost almost 5,000 men, with only 1,600 remaining. And this was really the only force they had if to retake the town. Grenadier Guards, I imagine these were the ones that were staying in the melee fight for the longest. 65 of them are remaining. They lost 185, but they killed 318. The Grenadiers, Cuirassiers, Grenadier Guards. Best kill to death ratio seems to be going to these Cuirassiers. No, I'm wrong. These Grenadier Guards lost 13 men, killed 261. Could be someone that lost nothing. They may have afflicted one Fusilier unit. Actually lost 0 but killed 95. They only have 144, so it might be one of the ones I put on the wall. But yeah, as this battle only took about 10 to 15 minutes, so I think we might be able to at least fit in some more maneuvering, or maybe a smaller battle. So let the end turns continue. And here we come to the Hanoverians finally decide to strike. But the thing is, this battle is way too big. I have about 6,000 men against an enemy force of about, what, 12,000, 13,000. It's gonna be just way too big of a fight to fit into this video. So the next one will be this fight right here. But yeah, we're gonna have to end it right here then, because I mean this is definitely, this could drag on for quite a while. Anyways, as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.